escalated with Israel's massive offensive in Gaza. Now, for a Palestinian perspective, we're joined by His Excellency Adnan Abu Al-Haija, Ambassador of Palestine to India. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much
Ambassador,
for having me with you.
For talking to us. There is a lot that we need to get into, but let's start with the latest, which is the terrible attack on the hospital in Gaza, where the number suggests as many as 500 may have died. It's been condemned across the world. But there's already been this controversy, as you know. The Palestinians are blaming Israel, and Israel is saying that this is an explosion because of a failed rocket launch by Islamic Jihad, which is one of the Palestinian militant outfits.
If we want to come at the beginning for the creation of Israel, it has been created by lies. So it's not new for the Israelis to lie about many things.
Okay.
Now, when it comes to this massacre,
This hospital attack.
the hospital attack,
Yes.
all our hospitals, or many of our hospitals, let's be more, has been threat to flee of patients and to close the hospitals
Right.
by the soldiers occupation, by the occupation soldiers.
Okay.
So they threat via the director of the hospital to take off all the patient of the hospital away and to close the hospital, which it means they were planning to
Attack.
bomb that hospital.
Also, a warning was given to the hospital.
Yes, yes, not only one hospital.
To close
more
the
than
hospital.
the Kuwaiti hospital have received same.
Yes.
But this hospital, 3 days ago, they got the word. Then, day before the attack,
Yes.
they shot 2 small rockets. And they spoke with the director of the hospital to take off patient of the hospital and to close. But taking, yes, yes.
Okay, so they gave, you're saying that they gave a warning as
Yes,
recently
they
as the
gave
day
warning and the threat, not warning. They
A
threat
threat.
them.
They gave a
Yes,
threat. I see.
there was a threat to the director of the hospital to flee the patient of the hospital, right, and to close the hospital.
before. Okay, now here's what Netanyahu says to Benjamin Netanyahu, the premier of Israel. He says an analysis of IDF, this is Israel Defense Force operational systems, indicates that a barrage of rockets was fired by terrorists in Gaza, passing in close proximity to the Al Ahli hospital at the time it was hit. The entire world should know it was barbaric terrorists in Gaza that attacked the hospital in Gaza, not the IDF. Those who brutally murdered our children also murder their own children.
It is a new lie of Mr. Netanyahu.
Okay.
Because as I'm telling you, one day before, they shot 2 small rockets near the hospital.
All right.
Now, why the massacre is in that number? Because people think that they are protected
That they're safe
near
in
the hospital.
Right.
They think it's safe a place, right? And because of that, for 2 reasons. Some people, they have wounded people or patient people in the hospital, or coming because they run away from...
Okay, but Excellency, apart from the warning, which you claim that the hospital director received from the Israelis, is there any other evidence that you could show the world to say that this was an Israeli strike?
I think the World Health Organization
Yes.
knows everything about the threat.
Okay.
Yeah, they have been told and they were against.
No, I meant in terms of even like the shrapnel, like remains or ruins of the rocket, if it was an Israeli rocket or if it wasn't Israeli, the shrapnel of
And
the
we
bomb.
we're still in the massacre.
We're still in the massacre.
We're still in the massacre. We are not looking for
evidence.
pieces of the rocket. But I'm giving you evidence, right? Not only this hospital.
But others as well.
Others as well.
Okay. Let me ask you this, Excellency, that apart from this, there's no denying that there have been multiple Israeli airstrikes on Gaza since this latest cycle of violence. Thousands have been killed in Gaza. I'm not sure what the latest death toll is according to you, but it's supposed to be in the range of almost 3,000 plus. More who've died. Many of them are civilians, which is of course terrible and condemnable. There's no question about that. But to those who make the argument that this is a cycle of violence that was triggered by the brutal Hamas attack of 10 days ago, you would say what?
I would say that if there is no occupation, there is no Hamas, there is no brutal or normal attack.
Okay.
Why, when I come to the Palestinian situation in general, Gaza Strip has been sieged, as you know, because you've been in another war, 2014 in Palestine,
Yes.
in Gaza.
Yes.
And this area of Palestine have been sieged for 16 years up
Yes.
to now. 2.2 million sieged. And you know that the poverty is very high.
Yes.
Percent of the people, they could not move, they don't have any hope. This is people of Gaza.
I understand that, but
Let me continue.
Yes.
Now, when it comes to West Bank, since they formed this extreme government, Netanyahu with Ben Gvir and Smotrich, till Saturday, when Hamas attacked,
Yes.
260 people in West Bank has been killed.
Right. But I come back to, and again, I'm not disputing the fact that these attacks and this violence against Palestinians in West Bank and in Gaza have not happened. But as supposedly representing the moderate wing of the Palestinian project, you are in power in West Bank, the Palestinian Authority, for our viewers who are not aware. Hamas controls Gaza. Hamas is a violent outfit. You abjure violence, reportedly. You don't accept the violent path. But are you saying that Hamas's attack on civilians, on babies, on the elderly was justified because of the occupation? Or do you condemn that attack? I mean, do you outright condemn it?
Always I condemn the occupation. If there is no occupation, if there is no killing,
Yes.
you did not let me continue in West Bank, because we are one people. Whatever in West Bank and
I'm coming to the West Bank. I'm coming to the West Bank.
Yeah, but we are one people at the end.
But
We
I
are-
don't
now
I don't
we are.
understand whether you condemn the Hamas.
Let me say something.
Yes.
And I hope the Israelis will say the same.
Okay.
We condemn the killing of the civilian people,
Okay.
if they are Palestinian or Israelis. Go and ask the Israelis to say same.
Okay, why is it then, Excellency, that your president, President Abbas, Mahmoud Abbas, had to modify his statement? He initially named Hamas in a conversation reportedly with the Venezuelan president, where he said Hamas's policies and actions do not represent the Palestinian people, but later that line was removed from the official
because
website.
it might be not from the president himself, because maybe from the reporter.
Okay, but this was put on the official website of your media agency.
Yeah, but the reporter might do it. It might be from the reporter, the one who wrote that report to the Wafa or official.
Okay.
I don't know exactly when it has been published.
Right.
Right, but if there is no mistake, why they should remove it?
So it's being interpreted as a sign that you are reluctant to name Hamas, to condemn Hamas by name. Is that a reason?
No.
But do you...
No, I don't.
Do you condemn Hamas by name?
Any people, international law,
Okay.
give any people under occupation,
All right.
under colonialism,
Okay.
is to struggle in all means, including the armed struggle.
All right. So you're saying the occupation is the trigger for the attack, is the trigger for Hamas's act of violence. But equally, do you recognize Israel's right to retaliate? Because Israel has been attacked.
Israel, they don't need reason to attack. They are attacking our people from the beginning of for years. right? For years they are attacking. How many massacres? What about the war? 2014, when you were there, right? This is Israel. Israel are looking to flee all the people of Gaza to Egypt. And I might send you, but in Arabic, a video to Mr. Hosni Mubarak. When he was the president of Egypt, Netanyahu told him to take the Palestinian from Gaza, and he has, as Hosni Mubarak, President Hosni Mubarak, mentioned that he has a pen and he put circle in Sinai desert and put them in this area. So Hosni Mubarak answer was, forget, as he mentioned. Do you want the war to come again between me and you? Forget. This is what Hosni Mubarak said.
But if one would look at what has happened now, Excellency, I know what you're saying, that you're saying there may be a long pattern of Israel attacking Gaza, but right now, we've just had 10 days ago a brutal massacre of Israeli civilians.
They said their head has been killed, and Mr. Biden mentioned that. Right then, his office said, no, we did not, we don't have any evidence.
No, but I'm saying apart from the question of whether children, babies were decapitated or not.
No, we'll go
there were people, young people at
the music festival. They said, look,
families and
to
kibbutzes.
me it was lies, because he used to raise number by hundreds, 100, 200, more, something like that. Not like the Palestinian people have killed. Numbers today, look, any civilian.
Isn't that concerning?
We
if
have
you are going
condemned.
To deny the deaths
I have condemned
Israeli
the killing
civilians.
of the civilian people from any part. Take it like that. And hope will hear that from the Israelis. I say again that one.
Okay, but here's Israel's argument. They're saying that we don't want to kill civilians, but if Hamas is going to operate from civilian areas, then what choice do we have?
Where they have to go? To Tel Aviv? They are from Gaza, right?
Yes.
And let them attack Hamas in a ground attack. So Hamas will come out to them. Otherwise, we don't know where is members of Hamas. But we knew that at least we have let Hamas be 100,000. I'm sure they are much less than that. Right? And there is 2.15 million people civilian. I killed the civilian because there is Hamas there.
But isn't that Hamas's fault also? That if they're using civilian areas to operate from, you mentioned my being in Gaza when I was there in 2014. I filmed actually a rocket being fired from a residential area in Gaza, right next to our hotel. That does put civilians at risk, does it not? Excellency.
It might be, but there is, Gaza, people are everywhere. You are talking about 2.2 or more than that in an area of 365 kilometers square. And part of East Gaza are occupied by the Israelis with that fence and that wall. Right? So it's much less than 365. And you know that the people even who have farms near that wall or that fence, they can't go there because they might shoot them. This is the occupation. This what the people, the drones, the drones can assassinate anyone in Gaza Strip.
Okay, so then what's the path forward? Because in some ways, the path forward is always a political solution. And in a way, the best opportunity of that was to have a moderate platform like the Palestinian Authority, which you represent. But then the argument here is that that moderate approach hasn't worked. The occupation in the West Bank continues, more settlers are coming in, there's more violence there. And so Palestinians have found that frustrating. And that's actually led to more support for Hamas. So is it also, in a sense, a failure of the Palestinian Authority, that you've not been able to come to a kind of political solution?
Yeah. First of all, the international community are responsible for that. Because as a Palestinian,
Not
as
the
you know,
not the Palestinian Authority.
because they are, I'm coming, responsible because they did not put the Israelis' crimes, the Israeli government crimes to accountability. Anytime. We call for that. It's not the first massacre, not the second, not the third, not the fourth. The Western countries with the United States are covering these massacres to the Israeli government. Now,
but as the authority.
yes, I'm coming to the authority.
Yes.
Who weaken the authority, Palestinian authority, is the government itself. First of all,
The government of
Israel.
how
How they
weakened
did.
you?
How they did. First of all, they are controlling 61% of West Bank area. Right? It's, as you know, there is Area A, which is the cities.
Yes.
Area B, the towns. And Area C is in between.
Okay.
Right? That is completely controlled by the Israelis. That area is every day they confiscate land of the Palestinian people and build settlements. That area they brought extreme settlers and put them, and they attack.
Okay, so you're saying that's the way in which they've managed to contain or hobble your authority, reduce your authority, but equally, do you not have any control over Hamas and what they do? Because like you said, you're one people.
Yes, we are one people.
But then why are you not able to
But we are
control
facing the same.
Hamas's
We
violent actions?
we are facing the same occupation. We are facing the same occupation. When we came to and signed Oslo Accord,
Yes.
right? We come for peace, and we were expecting to have an independent state at 1999. Since then, they are killing Oslo Accord. They are killing the two-state solution.
Excellency, this almost seems to suggest that you're, in a way, if not directly, indirectly endorsing Hamas's methods. That you're saying that there is justification for violence, which I thought goes against your charter.
No, look, as long as the occupation
Yes.
is weakening everything,
Okay.
is sieging 2.2 million, do you want us to be slaves just under the Israeli occupation?
So, in a way, this is where I come back to what you were saying when you're blaming governments around the world for not rising to your support. In a
Not
way,
our
isn't-
support. Support the international law.
Support the international law.
Yes.
But today, because of the violence, which is also coming from the Palestinian side, is there a fear that you're now more isolated than ever before? Take India, for example, which used to be a huge friend of Palestine. It was one of the first countries to recognize Palestine as a state, one of the first non-Arab nations to recognize the PLO. What do you make of India's position today?
I think India is still a friend of both.
Equally?
Yani, I have mentioned that in different interviews.
Yes.
And I said, hope India will look to both sides from the same point of view.
But is that happening though? Or do you feel that India has been more on Israel's side? The first tweet from the Prime Minister was very clearly expressing solidarity for Israel after the terrorist attack, used the word terrorism.
Same what he has what he has tweeted.
Yes.
First day. He has tweeted that today also.
Yes, but there was no, that today after the explosion in the hospital.
Yes.
Yes, but
now
it took our foreign ministry at least 5 days after the Prime Minister's tweet, where they came out with a statement where they used what has been India's traditional position, that they support a sovereign, independent, viable state of Palestine. But initially, it was still very much the Prime Minister's tweet which appeared to be India's position, that it was standing in full solidarity with Israel.
And it's my job anyway, is to work hard to keep the attitudes of India toward the Palestinian people are same, if I could, as it used to be always.
Okay.
And I hope India again will look for both sides from the same point of interview, from the same.
Look at it from equally from both sides.
Equally from both sides.
Have you had any contact with the Indian government after the attacks? Have they been in touch?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Is it possible to share the nature of those conversations?
Yeah, and let me say that I met at the level of secretary, really, because the minister himself is not here. And the 3 state ministers are outside of Delhi also. And I feel sympathy. Also, let me say, I think the attitudes of the Indian people themselves, at the social media and so,
yes,
since the beginning till now has been changed. It's not same as the first day of
right. You're saying initially it was much more supportive of
it's much
Israel.
more better than 7th of October.
Is there an expectation that Prime Minister Modi could be called upon to help mediate this crisis?
Yes.
There is such an expectation from the Palestinian side?
Hope so.
You're smiling. Is there more you can share with us? Has he been approached?
No.
Has President Abbas approached him?
Up to now, this is what I can say.
Okay, but is there a possibility that the president, the Palestinian president, might approach him to mediate?
Yeah, it could be soon, inshallah.
It could happen soon.
Yes.
So, where do you then see this going, Excellency? Because, as I mentioned, if you find yourself without the support of the global community, as we speak, President Biden of America is in Israel. I believe he was also expected to meet Premier Abbas. I'm told that meeting is now not happening, if I'm correct, in the aftermath.
All the summit has been cancelled.
All the summit with the Arab leaders has been cancelled in the aftermath
Yes.
of the bomb blast. The Saudis were on the brink of brokering a deal, a peace deal with Israel, a historic peace deal, America, Saudi and Israel. Are these all the real reasons for the Hamas attack?
I think it was preparation for this operation has been done by Hamas. Needs very long time to preparation. It couldn't be just for 1 month to break down what we have heard in the newspaper about the dialogue between Hamas and Saudi Arabia, as an example.
Between Israel and Saudi Arabia, you mean?
Between, yes, Israel.
You think Hamas had been planning this operation
no,
much earlier, for much longer?
Much earlier. They don't have information that Saudi Arabia will do that. They don't have information. So,
but the Saudi Arabia, the negotiations between Israel and Saudi Arabia and America have been going on for months. It's all in the public domain.
Yes, but this preparation, I think, needs much more time also.
Was there any hint that you had, as in the PLO,
No.
that Hamas was going to attack? Were you aware at all of the preparations?
Not at all.
Not at all?
They surprised the Israeli intelligence, who has the server of their phone, of the Palestinian phones in general.
Right.
And they have Pegasus. They thread the word with that program, Pegasus.
Or Pegasus, the software.
Yes,
which
they have
used,
it.
Which is the invader software,
Yeah.
which is
and,
used to
and they could not
tap and
they could
surveil.
not do anything with that. They have the server of the mobile, and they have.
Okay, so you're saying that the
Pegasus,
Hamas attack was not prompted by the Saudi potential Saudi-Israel deal. What about the role of Iran then, Excellency? Because many believe, and I think some Hamas leaders have even come out and said, that Iran had been supportive of this attack, Iran has even funded the attack.
Look, I'll put you with Mr. Blinken. Mr. Blinken and other leaders, American leaders, said we did not find any hand of Hamas in this attack.
Iran, you mean? Not
Yes, we did not find any hand to Iran in this. Now, if they support Hamas, yes, it's not secret.
Right.
It has been, mentioned by some leaders of Hamas that we get assistance from Iran, but not in this attack, not in this matter, certain, because the Americans themselves, they said, We did
the
not
Americans
find.
themselves have said that there is no role of Iran. But in conclusion then, Excellency, as we sit here, as I said now, 10, 11 days after the initial Hamas attack, the cycle of violence is getting worse. Israel is still on the brink of a ground invasion. We're not sure when that will happen. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of lives could be lost. What is the way out?
Again, we are calling the international community to do their job,
All right.
to break down the closure of Gaza,
All right.
to allow humanitarian aid to go to Gaza for 2.2 million, to make a real pressure for ceasefire, then the negotiation for any hostages and the Palestinian prisoners.
Okay, but where is the guarantee that even if the community, international community gets Israel to do that, that Hamas will stop the violence? Because Hamas is against the very state of Israel. The Israelis will argue.
We have mentioned before, we should go to peace process, right?
Right.
With the peace process,
Yes.
the Palestinian people should get their right. When the Hamas is ready to accept establishing the state of Palestine on the land of 1967 borders, with East Jerusalem as capital and Gaza Strip.
Okay, and you're optimistic that Hamas will agree to peace?
They will go to peace.
All right, well, you seem confident. The Israelis may have a different view, but we can hope at least that the cycle of violence in some ways will start to come down, especially after this horrific attack on the hospital. Thank you very much indeed, Excellency, for
Thank
talking
you
to
very
us on
much.
News24.
But I would like to add
Yes.
that the Israelis are always looking for an enemy,
Okay.
right? Otherwise, their society will be divided.
Okay.
So the Israelis are responsible for all the crises of the Palestinian people.
All right. We, of course, believe in getting in all views, so we'll definitely be talking to the Israeli side as well. But thank you very much indeed for talking to us.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. Thank you.
साल बरस और सदी नहीं, एक युग गुजर जाएगा। उम्र न पूछो वंडर की, जब फर्क नजर आएगा। वंडर सीमेंट, फर्क नजर आएगा।
अब सर्दियों की कोई टेंशन नहीं। क्यों? लक्स पार्कर इसका स्पेशल फैब्रिक बनाता है इसे एकदम पतला और ज्यादा गर्म, तो चाहे इसे ऑफिस पहन के जाओ या स्कूल यूनिफॉर्म के नीचे, इसकी फिट रखे आपको सुपर कंफर्टेबल। लक्स पार्कर, गर्म भी पतला भी।
सड़कें और पुल सीमेंट से कहाँ बनते हैं, भरोसे से बनते हैं। ये अपनों को अपनों से जोड़ने का काम करते हैं। घर भी सीमेंट से नहीं, भरोसे से बनता है। तभी तो इसमें एक परिवार रहता है। एसीसी सीमेंट, भरोसा अटूट।
सेफ्टी की इतनी चिंता? तो पेमेंट सिर्फ वीजा से ही करना। वीजा कार्ड से पे करने पर मर्चेंट को कार्ड डिटेल में सिर्फ एक टोकन नंबर जाता है, यानी तेरा कार्ड और पेमेंट दोनों एकदम सेफ। क्लिक टू पे विद वीजा, सेफ रहने का स्मार्ट तरीका।
MDH की देगी मिर्च,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मिर्च।
जब आपके अपने शिंगल्स के दर्द से गुजरेंगे, उन्हें कीलों की चुभन या असहनीय